Okay, well, welcome everybody, and thanks so much for coming, taking the time out of your Thursday evening to join us and to learn about Tuscany. This meeting is being recorded, so if you know of anybody that wanted to join in and they couldn't be here tonight, I will be posting the recording on my website, and I'll probably send it out to everybody as well. I'm really excited to tell you about Tuscany and about the fantastic trip that is going to be happening in October. And one of the, I guess what I would like to find out, first of all, if you found the chat box, in the chat box, would you just put one, or it could be two words, but one word that you think of when you hear the word Tuscany? What does that evoke in you, the word Tuscany? Would you just put that in the chat box? Olive oil and wine, says Jackie. Good. Wine. Movie location. Okay, good. Wine, says Lisa. Olive oil. Landscape. Good. History. Good one. Architecture. Good, Veronica. Interesting, the different things it brings into your mind when you say the word Tuscany. I think about sunflowers every time I say the word Tuscany. And we are certainly going to be seeing some sunflowers. But yeah, thanks for all of those adjectives or nouns about Tuscany, because those are definitely, all of them are definitely things that we're going to be seeing. So what we're going to do tonight, this is what we're going to talk about. Maybe I can't do it that way. It's not letting me advance. Okay, here we go. This is what we're going to be talking about. First of all, we're going to talk about what's unique about this tour. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our hotel, and we're going to go through our day-by-day itinerary. We're going to talk about our free day that we're going to have. There is one day where it's totally free, and I'm going to maybe mention some suggestions to you for that. We're going to have a little Q&A session. And then I'm going to tell you about a special booking offer for the tour. And of course, we have to have door prizes. So we'll have a couple of really good prizes for you. And that's what's in store for you. So I'm really trying to keep this within the hour, and I'll try to move along so it doesn't take up too much of your time. So how is this tour unique, this tour of Tuscany? Well, the first thing I think is it's different from other tours because we are not going to be moving from hotel to hotel. And I know some of you have been on an Israel trip with me. And you know that when we're in Israel, we stay in one hotel maybe for one night or 2 nights, and then maybe the next hotel is 3 nights, and then the next hotel is 4 nights or whatever. With this tour, we are going to be going and staying in Montecatini, which is a very small city in the center of Tuscany, and we're going to be going out from there like spokes on a wheel. So I'm excited about that because I really love the fact that I only have to unpack my suitcase once and then pack up again at the end. It's almost like being on a cruise. This tour is also unique because it's for women only. And also it's going to be a small group. We're not going to go more than 25. I think probably we will stick to 20, 22. But we will not be more than 25 people. So it'll be a nice, manageable group, really great for getting to know one another, and also for just doing things together. Also, because of the way we're doing it with staying in Montecatini, and because it's in the center, we are not going to have any long rides anywhere. So maybe you've been to Ireland with me, or like when we were in Ireland, we did a big circle of Ireland. And when we're in Israel, we kind of do that as well. And sometimes, especially in Israel, when you're driving from the Galilee right down to the Dead Sea, it's a bit of a long drive. You're sitting on the coach for 2 hours, but that's not going to happen on this tour because everything is really within close proximity. So that's kind of neat about this as well. Also, it's going to be less structured than an organized coach tour. So, and what I mean by that is when you talk about coach tours, like there's different types of touring. There's independent touring where you just do your own thing. There's flexible tours where you're with a group, but you're kind of doing your own thing at times, and then you're doing things with the group. And then if you're on a coach tour, a lot of times you will stay with that group from place to place. And that's the way our Israel tours usually are organized. And part of it is because of the distances we're traveling. But on this tour, it's going to be a lot less structured. So there will be more free time for you. And we might have a half-day tour in one city, and then the afternoon is going to be free for you. And then we'll meet at a certain time, like 2 hours later. So it's going to be kind of neat, because if you want to go and have a cappuccino and sit in a cafe, you can. Or if you want to go shopping, you can. Or you might want to check out that cathedral that was just down the alleyway. So there's going to be lots of opportunities to do different things if you want to. And I mean, nobody's going to push you on your own and say, okay, everybody scatter, you have to do your own thing. We might all decide as a group, we're all going to do this one thing or that one thing. So it's going to be just very flexible that way. So our hotel is called the Hotel Manzoni. And it's, you can look it up on their website if you like. It's just hotelmanzoni.info. What you need to remember, though, it is in Italian. So up in the right-hand corner, top right-hand corner of their website, you need to just click on the English button, and then it'll give you everything in English. It's a very, very Italian hotel, and it's not a huge hotel, but it's family run. Everything is the high ceilings, very ornate inside, very comfortable. You're going to see that, for example, that's just a picture of the dining room there, but you're going to see like the rooms are fairly basic. You will, if you're taking single occupancy, you will have one bed, but if you are doing a shared occupancy, those beds will be separated. So you'll have 2 twin beds in the room. And the bathroom is very modern. It has a bidet as well as a toilet, which most European hotel rooms do. It will have a shower, probably a heated towel rack. It'll be equipped with a hair dryer. So it has all the modern conveniences of our hotels, but you will find that it is a little bit smaller. The rooms are smaller. Just that's the way it is in Europe. Everything's smaller. Also, our hotel has a spa. And we'll talk a little bit more about the spa later, but what I did want to tell you is it has a saltwater pool and a freshwater pool. And it has a whirlpool, Himalayan salt room, something called an emotional shower. And I'll tell you another time what an emotional shower is. I've been to 2 different spas where they had an emotional shower, and it's quite interesting. Also, they have appointments that you can pre-book. You'll be able to book like a massage if you want before we go. It's well advised to book it before we get there, just because a lot of people come from other places in Italy to just visit their spa. There is a charge for the pools because they are covered. They're in an indoor area, and they charge 10 euros just to use the freshwater pool. So that's the main pool that you see on the bottom there. And then if you want to use the saltwater pool as well, and the whirlpool and all the other spa facilities, it's 30 euros. And that gives you a 2-hour visit there. But they also did tell me that they are going to give us a 15% discount off of the regular menu prices of the spa services. So if you are interested in something like that, I will provide you with the spa menu, and you'll be able to book an appointment ahead of time. So let's talk about the itinerary that's going to be happening, that we're going to embark on. The first day, of course, is our departure day, and we are going to be on an overnight flight to Florence, and we are flying with Lufthansa. So we will be connecting in Munich for that flight, and we'll leave in the, early evening, and we'll get there around noon. And then day 2 will be our arrival day. And we're going to be met by our Italian tour director. So we are going to have an escort with us from Italy the whole time, an English-speaking person. And that person is going to be our personal escort the whole time. Or we call I like to call them a tour director too, because they know exactly what everything that's going on. They know the country, they know every place we're going, they know the directions, they know how to get there. So we're leaving ourselves in their hands, and we'll have a coach driver as well, of course. But all we're going to do after we arrive is be transferred to our hotel. We'll get settled in, and then we're going to have a welcome dinner in the hotel. So then our next day, once we've had a really good night's sleep, we will be going to Florence. And this is a really great place to start off our touring, because I would say Florence is the cradle of the Renaissance. So somebody mentioned architecture, somebody mentioned history. Both of those things are what we're going to find in Florence. I mean, there is so much to see in Florence. It's really an amazing city, and it's a beautiful city to walk through as well. And so we're going to have a local guide take us through the city, and we're going to discover some of the squares there, the piazzas, and we'll do that for the full morning. And then we are going to have some free time in the afternoon, and we will then return to our hotel. And that night we're going to have dinner on our own. So what I want to say about having dinner on our own, I don't mean, again, that I'm going to send you off to say, okay, you find a place. I think probably what we'll end up doing is our tour director will mention a few local places that are available. Like, for example, the last time I was in Montecatini on a tour, we right near our hotel was this really great pizzeria that had a beautiful outdoor seating area. It was like a garden we were sitting in, and it was all strung with lights in the evening. And so that's where we went for our first night of dinner. And we all ordered different things. Everybody pays their own. And it was just a really nice time. And it was the whole group went. But it was just really nice, because you could order a very small pizza, or you could order something else that they had on the menu. And so it really lent to just a lot of individuality, and everybody had a really, really great time. Then the next day, on October 15th, we're going to be in Pienza and Montalcino and Montepulciano. I love saying those Italian words. So the area where we're going to be is called Val d'Orcia, and it's the valley of, I don't even know what Dorcia means, but I think it means like grain or something like that. But it's a valley, and all of these towns are in kind of a valley. And the first stop that we're going to be at is Pienza. And it has beautiful views, because it's actually on top of a hill. And there's beautiful views of the whole Tuscan countryside. And it was rebuilt by Pope Pius II as a Renaissance town. And so it has a really interesting urban plan to it. And it's a very small town. And we're going to enjoy a cheese tasting while we're there. Then we're going to go on. Our coach will take us to Montalcino. And I don't know if you're a wine aficionado or not, but Montalcino is world renowned for Brunello. And so if you ever see a Brunello wine, it's a red wine, it's very full bodied, and it only comes from Montalcino. And while we're in Montalcino, you'll see that there's lots and lots of different local wine shops that are like family run wine shops. And we will actually have a tasting there, and has really nice Romanesque style churches as well. And there's a medieval fortress right in the peak of the town. It also is built on a hill, and it's going to have some really great views as well. You'll see the olive groves in the distance. You'll see scenic country roads that are winding through vineyards, and you'll see the classic scenes of cypress trees on rolling hills. And then we will be in Montepulciano after that. And Montepulciano is also well known for its wine. And quite often, if you go to an Italian restaurant and they have a house wine, it's a Montepulciano. So always, you should ask when you're at an Italian restaurant, just say, what kind of wine is your house wine? And I bet they will say it's Montepulciano, because it's like a less expensive wine and very dry. but we will also do a little wine tasting there as well. Then the next day, we're going to be, that will be our leisure day. So that's going to be a total a free day. So you can, there's quite a few different little options that you could do, or just some suggested things would be you could do a visit to Pisa, and you can either arrange that ahead of time. If you don't want to have something all structured, you could arrange it with the hotel, or if you like, I can arrange it for you. You would be picked up at the hotel and then taken to Pisa for a half day. There's actually a tour I know that goes to Pisa and Lucca and Volterra. Volterra is a really amazing city that has a wall all the way around it, and you can actually walk on the walls or ride a bike on the walls all the way around. It's kind of a neat place to see. So those are 3 cities that are not covered in our tour, but they would be a great one to do as a half-day excursion if you wanted. But there's lots to do in Montecatini too. So don't worry if you don't want to go to any of those places, because Montecatini has a lot to offer. It's a really great city for walking in. There's a lot of little squares. There's a really nice park near our hotel that has little cafes in it. It's the town itself, the city itself is built on thermal springs. So there's a lot of spas, whether they're in hotels or even just like a public spa. And people come from miles around to take treatments in the waters there because they're so rich in minerals. Also, there's a really unique thing about Montecatini in that it's built on a lower area, and then there's this cliff. And up on top of the cliff, there's a little part of town, and it's called Montecatini Alto. So it's like the alternative part of Montecatini. And you can walk up the hill to get there, or you can take the funicular railway. So if you've ever been on that one at Niagara Falls, it's just like that. It takes you up the hill. This one's a little bit bigger, longer, and you have to pay to get a ticket to go up the funicular. And when you get up to the top, it's like an artist colony. It's a little cobblestone street with cafes that overlook the beautiful valley, Val d'Orcia. And it's a really nice spot to just go for the afternoon and walk around and just have a coffee, just enjoy being up there. And or you might decide to just stick around the hotel and have a really nice day at the spa. And you're welcome to do that too. And like I said, I will give you the spa menu ahead of time so that you can book your appointment, and the hotel is going to give us 15% off of any treatments that we book from the spa menu. Then we're going to go on to day 6, and that's going to be our Tuscan cooking lesson, which is going to be really fun. We're going to learn to cook like an Italian, and in this cooking class. And we definitely will not be hungry this day, because we're going to have a private cooking class with a professional chef. And we're going to be preparing typical dishes of the Florentine tradition. And then we're going to indulge in what we've eaten, what we've made. So we're going to enjoy lunch there as well. And then that day, we're also having dinner in the hotel. So we will be very well fed that day. Day 7, I think, is probably going to be the highlight for me. Cinque Terre is the little town that's built on the side of a cliff that you see so often in pictures. And I think you can just recognize it. It's very recognizable when you see it in this picture here. All the houses are painted in different colors. And it's just a very quaint place to walk through. And it's actually built on the side of the cliff. And it's actually 3 different towns that we're going to be visiting. So it's many little towns within this area. So the first one is called Manarola. It's like an ancient fishing village. And it's actually well known for its white wine. And so you might want to just stop at a cafe and have a little glass of wine. Or the harbor town of Vernazza is another place we're going to visit. And there's a lot of really picturesque streets as well there. If you go to the harbor when we're there, you're going to see some of the fishermen returning from their catch of the day, their morning trip in the sea. And it's really, really neat to see them bringing in their catch. And then our last stop of the day there is going to be Monte Rosso. And it has a lot of really nice restaurants and shops as well. But it's most popular for the white sand beach that it has right next to the town. So I think we're going to really enjoy our day in Cinque Terre. We're taking the train there and back again. And that evening when we get back, we're going to have that evening on our own as well. So you might feel like you just need to flake out and stay at the hotel, or we might just visit a cafe nearby or whatever. It's really up to you. And then our next day is on day 8 of our tour. It's going to be our last day. And that's when we are going to be visiting Siena and San Gimignano. Siena, what can I tell you about that? There's famous Gothic structures there. It's well known for its paleo horse race. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but where they actually race through the town. And there's different areas of town, like it's like neighborhoods, and they all compete against one another in this horse race. Very exciting. And the horses come through the main plaza of town, the main piazza of town. And if you see pictures of it when they're doing the race, it's really amazing to see all the people crammed in there behind the line and then the horses coming through. I think it takes place in June, because I know when I was there, it was in July and it had just happened. There's a really famous cathedral there called the Piazza the Duomo, and it's really well known for its architecture. And after we leave Siena, we're going to go to San Gimignano. And San Gimignano is always shown in Italian movies, and anything to do with Tuscany, they always show San Gimignano because it's a city of many towers. There's like, I don't know how many towers it had, but there was a lot. It's actually a World Heritage Site, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And so we're going to have some free time there. It's not going to be a guided tour. We're just going to be taken there, and we'll have time to stroll through the little cobbled streets as well. And we actually are going to have a wine tasting there. So they're not going to let us off on our own until we do the wine tasting. But there's a very famous white wine that comes from that area and from San Gimignano. It's called Vernaccia. And with that, we're going to get a tasting of some nice local olives and some breads and olive oils as well. And I will say that I don't know if you saw this picture that I posted on social media, but I posted a picture of me and a man that we were both wearing yellow t-shirts. And that man was Mr. Corsini, and he owned a little shop in San Gimignano. And I had bought this olive oil jar from him. And I was really looking for something like this. In particular, I had in particular what I wanted and the kind of like the design, but there's a lot of little shops in there that that are owned by the owners, actually design all their pottery. So they're known for their look of their pottery. And I really liked his because his were lemons instead of olives on his. And so I went with Mr. Corsini's, but he signed it. And it's just really, really beautiful. If you love Tuscan pottery, there's so many beautiful designs and colors. The way that they do the water, the way that they do the painting is really beautiful. So that was something that I had brought back. Can't see me because of I was just had that in mind. When I'm in Tuscany, I want to get one of these olive oil cruet things. And it's really nice to just pour the olive oil on your plate and then sprinkle a few herbs on it and then just dip your bread in it. So good. So after that day, of course, yeah, I've told you about San Gimignano. And then we're going to have a farewell dinner because that's going to be our last night. We are all going to go up the funicular, and we're going to have our farewell dinner in a local restaurant up at the top of Montecatini Alto. and where we're going to be able to have a stunning view of the valley below. And I also really enjoy a great dinner as well. So it's going to be a great end off to our time there. And then sadly, the next day, most of us will be coming home. I do want to mention that if you are interested in extending your tour, you can do that. I'll just arrange for a deviation with the airline, and you can take in more of the sights of Italy. If you want to go up to Rome or go down to Rome and see Rome for a few days, we can arrange that. But I would need to know fairly soon that you want to do that. I would say by probably April or May, I would need to know, and I can make those arrangements for you. And you can extend your stay by 2 or 3 days, depending on what you want to do. Okay, let's get to some of the questions everybody has. If you haven't already been looking on my website, you've seen what the trip cost is, but I've arranged this tour so that it's promoted as a single occupancy tour. And what I mean by that is I wanted it to be for any women who wanted to come and they don't have somebody to share with, or they don't want to share a room. This tour is for you, and your cost is $42.99. You will get a room of your own for the whole time. But I also, I had organized a trip like this a couple of years ago, and it was totally all single rooms. But then I heard back from some women that, you know what, I wouldn't mind sharing with my friend. And so I decided for this tour, I would provide single rooms as well as shared or double occupancy rooms. So if you want to share with somebody and you've already got somebody in mind that you want to share with, the cost is $830, $849. So it's a little bit less if you want to share with somebody. And the other item that you need to know is you need to, in order to hold your space, it requires a deposit of $700. That deposit is non-refundable, and the trip balance is not due until August 15th. So you have lots of time to save up some more money, especially because I'm going to tell you all the things that are included, and I'm going to tell you what's not included as well. So what is included in the tour? First of all, your flights are included in this. You don't have to worry about your flights because the seats are booked already. And we are connecting in Munich. So we're going from Toronto to Munich, then Munich to Florence. Your transfers from the Florence airport to the hotel are included. Now, if you decide to extend your tour, and you talk to me about that later, the transfer, we would have to arrange for separate transfers for you, of course, to get to Rome or to wherever it is you want to stay. 7 nights is how long we'll be staying in the Hotel Manzoni in Montecatini, and they do include a buffet breakfast daily. Now, something that I should mention is that Italians don't eat. An Italian breakfast is not the same as a Canadian buffet breakfast or the American all-you-can-eat breakfast that you get when you go to the States. You know how when we go to a buffet, we expect pancakes, waffles, eggs, bacon, all sorts of fruits and yogurts and smoothies and everything like that. In most countries in Europe, but in particular in Italy, their breakfast is not big. They might have a little croissant and a coffee, but they linger over it. They spend a lot of time over it. Our buffet will have cereal, and it will have toast, and it will have pastries like croissants, and it will have cheeses, lots of different kinds of cheeses, and some fruit and some cold cuts. But it's not going to be like the lavish buffet breakfasts we're used to when we go, say, to the Caribbean to a resort, or when we go to an American restaurant that has a buffet breakfast. We're going to have 2 dinners at our hotel. So the dinner, I think, was on day 3, and then the same day as our Tuscan cooking class, there's a dinner at the hotel as well. And we're going to have an English-speaking tour director, as I mentioned. That is going to be our leader throughout, who's going to be our wealth of knowledge, our encyclopedia when we need to know something about where to go, or when we want to go off on our own on our free day. That person is our tour director, is going to be the one who's going to give us some really great suggestions. I'm going to be coming along as well, so you're going to get the services of me as your escort. Hope that's a good thing. And you're going to get a guided tour of Florence, Siena, Montalcino, Pienza, Montepulciano, San Gimignano, and Cinque Terre. So all of those cities, I think there's 7 there we're going to be visiting. Also, a cooking lesson is included, as I mentioned, by that professional chef, and that will be followed by lunch. And we're doing wine tastings in Montepulciano and Montalcino, and then we're going to do a cheese tasting in Pienza. Then when we're in San Gimignano, we will also have included a wine tasting and an olive oil tasting that day as well. Also, we're going to, we've already provided, or we've included the train ticket to Cinque Terre, and we've even included the return portion. So you don't have to pay to get back. And the farewell dinner on the last night in Montecatini Alto is also included. All your air and your air taxes and the hotel taxes are included as well. And then you're also going to get this handy dandy passport wallet. And I'm thinking in particular, Veronica is on the call. She was just with me in Israel in November. So she got one of these on my Israel trip. But these are really, really great because they have so many pockets in them. And there's a pocket to put your passport, and you can keep it, so you can keep your passport with you at all times. Although I will tell you, the room does have a safe in it, but I just like to keep it with me. There's zippers on the sides. There's 2 separate compartments on the sides if you want to keep change in there, or your paper money or your credit cards. There is a spot here if you wanted to put a credit card behind where your name will be. And it's really great to use just as a crossbody bag. So you can just put it across to your bag and you can keep it at your side, or you can put it in front if you want, but it's just really nice to have that to put your credit cards and your money in, so you know that it's safe with you. You don't have to carry a purse around. So everybody's going to get one of those. I'll probably give them out to you at the airport, because that's when I'll see most of you. I might be seeing some of you for the first time at the airport. So what is not included? And what's not included? We've got your lunches are not included, except for that one where we're doing the cooking class. So I would say that you should estimate about 10 to 15 US per day for lunches. But you know what? There might be some days where we're in, say, for example, when we're in Siena and there's some really fabulous gelato places. You might just decide you want a gelato and then you want to get a cappuccino, and that's all you're going to have for lunch. And that's totally fine. So I don't want to say that you will be spending that amount of money, but if we do all go somewhere, it could be that much. So I would say you should probably budget that amount. And then 5 of our dinners are not included. So I would estimate between $15 to $20 for those. And then gratuities for our tour director that's coming with us, and also for local guides. When we're in Siena and when we're in Montalcino, and I know a couple of the cities, we're going to have a local guide take us around. And well, definitely Florence, we will have a local guide. And so we'll have them for like a half day. So you would just give them like $1 or $2 in I would say, maybe I'll say €1 or €2 for their services. Also, insurance is not included. And there's my picture of sunflowers. And those sunflowers are in the fall, because guess what? October is one of the best months to visit Tuscany. And so we are going to be able to enjoy beautiful sunflowers like this. And we're going to enjoy the grapes being harvested and the olives being harvested, and all of those things that happen in the fall we're going to be seeing. I would say that probably during the fall, the weather's very pleasant. I was actually, the last time I was there, it was July, and it was really, really hot. But in September, October, it's between 17, so say early morning, it would be 17 degrees Celsius, but it will get up to 26 in the daytime. So it's really kind of nice. And then it gets cool again in the evenings. So if you like Fahrenheit, it's 63, an average of 63 to 79 Fahrenheit. So I put this on the screen, but I don't want to really spend a lot of time on it because there's a lot of words on there. But if you are not covered, I am going to insist that you have insurance or travel protection insurance. And that can be your own. Like you might be covered by a really good work plan. And if you are, that's great. I just need to know the insurance company and I'm going to just get the details from you. You might be covered by your credit card if you charge the trip to your credit card. What I would just get you to check though is what is the maximum coverage they give you? Because a lot of credit cards only cover you for up to $2,500. And you might have, like if you have a CAA membership, go in and ask them about travel protection. They will not want to know the trip cost. They'll want to know the dates or the duration of your trip, and then they'll just want to know your age and they'll give you a rate. If you don't have any of those options, I also can provide insurance for you, and it's through Manulife. And they have a really great, very comprehensive plan called Premium Protection Plan. And for anybody 69 years of age and under, it's one rate. For our trip, because it's based on the trip cost. If you're doing shared occupancy, it's $440 plus 8% PST. And if you're doing single occupancy, it's $498. And that will insure your full trip. But if you want to just pay to insure your deposit for now, and then insure the balance later when you pay the balance in August, you can do that as well. And it's $116. It's a little more if you are 70 years old, 74. This premium protection plan only covers people up to 74. But they do have other really good plans for if you were over that. But I don't think anybody on this call tonight is. But if you are, you can always call me for the other plans that they have. But what is really great about the premium protection plan that I think is even the best, even though it has great medical coverage, it has 27 different reasons why you could cancel and get a full refund of your money. It also has what they call a cancel for any reason benefit. And what that means is if you could decide one morning, you might wake up on September 1st, you might wake up and you might say, you know what? I thought I wanted to go to Tuscany, but I don't want to go to Tuscany anymore. I've changed my mind. And you can let me know and I will let them know, and they will give you your money. They will pay, you'll get a full refund of your trip. No questions asked. You don't have to fill in any forms. You won't get a full refund. I'm not reading it right. You get 80%. So that's their cancel for any reason benefit. You get 80% of your trip cost back. If you just decide you don't want to go, maybe you don't like your hair that day, or you just decided, you know what, I just decided I want to go somewhere else instead. With this plan, they will give you 80% of your trip cost back, no questions asked. But if you have to cancel for any of those other 27 reasons, and they're all within their 27 reasons, you would get 100% back. It's just that this cancel for any reason benefit is kind of like neat. And I know that CAA, they have their own insurance plan, and I know they do not have a cancel for any reason benefit. So that is one of the really great things I like about Manulife's insurance, this premium protection plan. So that's all I'm going to say about insurance, because I actually do have this listed on my website. So if you need to see the numbers or the explanation, you can go up on my website to see it. But I did want to, this is the most exciting thing, is thank you so much for coming tonight, because you came and because you registered. If you decide to book your spot, I'll give you a $50 off the trip cost. And basically that will be taken off when you pay your final payment. And you have to do that before February 28th. So I think the 28th is on Tuesday. So you have 5 days. You can let me know that you want to book your spot either by emailing me. There's my email address there, or you can call or text me. I have a little button on my website where you can contact me. There's lots of ways of getting a message to me. I'm very easy to get a hold of. So before we have our door prizes, does anybody have any questions that weren't answered in the presentation tonight? You can either unmute yourself, and actually what I will do is, could you put your hand up if you have a question, and then I will unmute you, because I think I might have to unmute you. Don't be shy either. So putting your hand up is by, there's a little hand, a little button at the bottom that says, I might say emojis or something.
Mute.
It's not showing on my screen. Otherwise, I would tell you what it's saying. Okay, Sandra. you have a question? Can you unmute yourself?
So how about getting money exchanged? What's the best way to do that?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, thanks. So there's a place, if you live in the Barrie area, and I know it's in other centers as well, but in Barrie, in the Georgia Mall, there's an exchange place called Continental Currency, and they have really good rates. I think they have better rates than the banks do. So they always have euros on hand. We will be using euros, but also your bank has euros on hand usually. My bank does anyway, because a lot of times people are just bringing in euros, and so they usually keep some on hand. So you could check with your bank first, and if they don't have them, just go to the Continental Currency Exchange. If you don't have one of those near you, like I know they're at Upper Canada Mall in Newmarket, a couple of malls in Toronto as well, just look them up. But also you could just change your money at the airport. The rates aren't as good though at the airport.
How much is a euro?
Right now, I think a euro is about 1.5, worth $1.50.
Okay.
So a little bit more than what US is worth. Any other questions? And I mean, you can feel free to reach out to me at any other time to ask a question, but if you might have a question that somebody else is thinking, and if you ask it, then they don't have to ask it. Sandra, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, Jackie has her hand up as well before me.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that. Thank you.
Okay.
Jackie, do you want to go then? Just unmute yourself.
About how much do you think we should have then in euros? Because I've never done anything like this in my whole almost 60 years, Judy.
Jackie, good for you. Congratulations. Well, I would say, you know what I'll do is I'll send something out to you that has listed what I had on the screen there about what you would need for lunches, dinners, and then spending money. You know, you're going to want to have a little
most
bit of...
places, will they take a Visa card?
Absolutely. And
Okay.
Restaurants will take a Visa. So you don't have to travel with cash if you don't want
With
to.
lots of, you don't need lots of cash then.
I don't think you're going to need cash anywhere. You wouldn't, like, when I travel to Europe, I don't take a lot of cash. I just take maybe $50 worth of local currency, and the rest I put on credit cards because I want to have those receipts. And I have one of those credit cards where it's a business card, and it gives me a discount on foreign exchange too, which is handy.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, no, I hope you can come with us.
I hope so too.
How about you, Sandra? Did you have another question?
That was my question, was about how much cash and do they accept Visa? That was my question.
Yes. And thank you for asking that, because I really should have mentioned that I mean, credit cards are accepted everywhere, like all the little restaurants, even little cafes, of course.
And Visa as opposed to MasterCard?
No,
Visa.
both.
Oh, both.
Visa,
Okay.
MasterCard, and Amex.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, I'm going to stop the share for a minute, because we're going to do a little draw, and I've got a couple of gift cards. Oh, Nancy, you've got your hand up. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, and I have never figured out the visual. I have no idea how to do it.
That's okay.
But anyway,
You're the mystery woman.
Yeah, I apologize. Well, Barb Holdsworth said to say hi.
Yeah, thanks.
She's my neighbor. I assume, I mean, it's a big assumption, but because some of us are leaving from, or maybe all of us from Aurelia, would we coordinate some type of Simcoe transfer to the airport?
Yeah, that's great to know. Actually, I should mention, I wanted to say that we've got quite a wide variety of people I see on the screen tonight. I see we've got a few people from the Sarnia, Petrolia area of Ontario, so way down Windsor Way. And then some of us are from Aurelia, Barrie, Huntsville, I think, and Newmarket. So we've got quite a a wide variety of people, Toronto, Hamilton. And but yes, for those of us that are going from Aurelia, we'll just wait and see how many there are of us, and we'll arrange either the Stancoats taxi service or we'll get Simcoe transportation or somebody like that to drive us to the airport.
Okay, thank you.
Great question. Okay, well, what I want to do then is I'm going to share my screen again. I've got a little prize wheel here. I got to get into it. Here we go. If you're, no, I won't. Okay, here we go. Share screen. Okay, I hope I'm pretty sure I've got everybody's name. Can everybody see the prize wheel now? No, they didn't share it yet. Are you seeing the wheel going around? It's got everybody's name on it. I hope that's registered tonight. I just did this like 2 hours ago, so I don't think anybody registered at the last minute. And I've got a $25 Tim's card, and I've got a $25 Starbucks card to give away. So who's going to get the $25 Tim's card? Veronica, woohoo! Johnny. Okay, I'm going to stop the share because you didn't get to hear the clapping. So, I mean, that's no fun. So let me stop it, and then we want to hear some clapping. So share screen. I have to do it with sound so you can hear this. Okay, so that was for the $25 Tim's card. Now let's draw for a $25 Starbucks card.
We can't see the wheel right now.
What was that?
We can't see the wheel, or at least I can't.
Oh, you can't see the wheel. Okay, why not?
We thought you were giving a car away.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what we
okay,
can
why
see.
didn't I must have not chosen the right screen. Okay, screen 2, here we go, with the sound. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Who is gonna win?
Yay!
Ellen. Ellen, are you here with Jen? Is that who's with you, Jen?
Yay!
Ellen, put
they're
your
here.
hand up because I don't know if I saw you come into the meeting room.
Ellen's with Lori,
Ellen is with,
Hex.
okay, perfect.
or Lori
Great,
Tigner.
Okay, perfect. I will be mailing that to you then because you live a little far away from me, I think. Okay, well, thank you so much. I'm gonna stop the share again, and I'm gonna stop the recording while I'm thinking of